All right. So May 20th. Looking at Charlie changing, we can clearly start to see that he is a different individual at this point. So May 20th. Would not have noticed the new dishwasher. A boy of about 16 at the corner diner where I take my evening meals, if not for the incident of the broken dishes. They crashed to the floor, shattering and sending bits of white china under the tables. The boy stood there dazed and frightened, holding the empty tray in his hand. The whistles and catcalls from the customers, the cries of, "Hey, there go the profits, Mazel Tov!" And well, he didn't work here very long, which invariably seems to follow the breaking of glass or dishware in a public restaurant. All seem to confuse him. Maybe you guys have had that experience where like something gets broken in a restaurant and people start clapping, or they kind of make jokes at the individual that broke whatever. When the owner came to see what the excitement was about, the boy cowered as if he expected to be struck and threw up his arms as if to ward off the blow. Why would the boy react that way? Why would he think he's going to get hit? Okay. Do business owners tend to hit their employees? No. Yeah, yeah. What I mean to tell you guys is that Mrs. Holdinghausen beats me when I don't do my job. No, they don't hit you, but clearly this is someone has hit him, just like you said, Jace. Someone has hit him as punishment. So that's kind of what he was expecting. The owner says, all right, you dope," shouted the owner. "Don't just stand there. Get the broom and sweep that mess up." A broom, you idiot. It's in the kitchen. Sweep up all the pieces." The boy saw that he was not going to be punished. His frightened expression disappeared, and he smiled and hummed as he came back with the broom to sweep the floor. A few of the rowdier customers kept up the remarks, amusing themselves at his expense. "Here, Sonny, over here. There's a nice piece behind you. Come on, do it again." "He's not so dumb. It's easier to break him than wash him." As his vacant eyes moved across the crowd of amused onlookers, he slowly mirrored their smiles and finally broke into an uncertain grin at the joke, which he obviously did not understand. I felt sick inside as I looked at his dull, vacuous smile, the wide, bright eyes of a child, uncertain but eager to please. They were laughing at him because he was mentally retarded, and I had been laughing at him too. Suddenly, I was furious at myself and all those who were smirking at him. I jumped up and shouted, "Shut up! Leave him alone! It's not his fault. He can't understand. He can't help what he is. But for God's sake, he's still a human being." What do you guys think of his reaction? We'll get into how everyone else reacts around him, but what do you guys think of his reaction? Okay. Um, I do. I think you're right that he stood up for the individual, stood up for this young dishwasher. Did you notice that? Did he stand up for him at first, or what did he do first? He laughed at him, right? Shouldn't Charlie be able to relate to the dishwasher better than anyone else? Why doesn't he right away? It's okay if we don't know because we're going to continue reading and he'll tell us why. Okay. But I think you're right, Jace. I think you go ahead. Good. I think you're. I think that's and I like the fact that you had a really quick light bulb moment there of like wanting to interject that because I think you're right. He's not used to being treated that way anymore, is he? He doesn't have that experience. Is it possible that we forget what it's like to be our former self? Could that have happened to Charlie? Um, those of you with younger siblings do sometimes forget that you may have done the same thing when you were 4 or 5 or 6 years old, however old your siblings are. Do you ever have that experience or that feeling? Yeah, fair enough. That's right. Do you think some of your older siblings think some of the things that you do are ridiculous? Um, it'd be interesting to ask them. Maybe they, because your siblings are quite a bit older than you, right? So I think it would be interesting to see if they recall having the same experiences as you, because they're probably pretty similar. I mean, a lot of the things you guys talk about, even in class, I can relate to because I remember being a middle schooler and knowing that it wasn't always easy. So it is possible to remember, but I just don't think Charlie was there. Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right, Coda, get this finished. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So the room grew silent. I cursed myself for losing control and creating a scene. I tried not to look at the boy as I paid my check and walked out without touching my food. I felt ashamed for both of us. How strange it is that people of honest feelings and sensibility, who would not take advantage of a man born without arms or legs or eyes, how such people think nothing of abusing a man born with low intelligence. It infuriated me to think that not too long ago, I, like this boy, had foolishly played the clown, and I had almost forgotten. I'd hidden the picture of the old Charlie Gordon from myself because now that I was intelligent, I was it was something that had to be pushed out of my mind. But today, in looking at that boy for the first time, I saw what I had been. I was just like him. Only a short time ago, I learned that people laughed at me. Now I can see that unknowingly I joined with them and laughing at myself. That hurts most of all. I've often reread my progress reports and seen the illiteracy, the childish naivete, the mind of low intelligence peering from a dark room through the keyhole at the dazzling light outside. I see that even in my dullness, I knew that I was inferior and that other people had something I lacked, something denied me. In my mental in my mental blindness, I thought that I it was somehow connected with the ability to read and write, and I was sure that if I could find those skills, I would automatically have intelligence too. Even a feeble-minded man wants to be like other men. A child may not know how to feed itself or what to eat, yet it knows of hunger. This then is what I was like. I never knew, even with my gift of an intellectual awareness. I never really knew. This day was good for me. Seeing the past more clearly, I've decided to use my knowledge and skills to work in the field of increasing human intelligence levels. Who is better equipped for this work? Who else has lived in both worlds? These are my people. Let me use my gifts to do something for them. Tomorrow I will discuss with Dr. Strauss the manner in which I can work in this area. I may be able to help him work out the problems of widespread use of the technique, which was used on me. I have several good ideas of my own. There is so much that might be done with this technique. If I could be made into a genius, what about thousands of others like myself? What fantastic levels might be achieved by using this technique on normal people, on geniuses? There are so many doors to open. I am impatient to begin. So Charlie has this experience, and he had forgotten what he was like, just kind of like Reese and Jace, just kind of like what you insinuated and talked about, that he had kind of forgotten what he was like before. And he says, oh, I'm trying to find it. He says, even a feeble minded man wants to be like other men. A child may not know how to feed itself or what to eat, yet it knows of hunger. What does he mean by that? That even a child who can't feed himself knows of hunger. Feeble-minded people know they want to be brighter. What do you think he means by that? Does a child still get hungry even though they don't know how to get food for themselves? Yeah. If a child gets hungry but they can't get food for themselves, should they still be able to eat? Okay. If a person has lower intelligence, should they still be treated as an equal? What about someone with a deformity, like, or maybe they've been hurt in an accident? Yeah, and and I think at this point we're comfortable with saying that. But when this short story was written, that wasn't so much the case, and that's what this book is taking on. Okay, that's why it's so unique. And Charlie takes up that cause as well and decides he's going to work with Dr.